and Marketing Director of Gujarat Titans and now CEO of Impetus Sports. A former national level hockey player for Rajasthan, he has worked with organizations like the IPL, ICC Cricket World Cup and Everton FC, pioneering initiatives such as the first Mumbai Indians magazine and merchandise ventures across top leagues. Ramakrishna R is the co-founder and director of Baseline Ventures. He has the experience of handling marketing and sales functions in varied industries. Ramakrishna R has been a prolific deal maker in his previous stints, overseeing sponsorships and partnership sales. With over 15 years of experience, he is adept in handling the US and Europe markets. Ramakrishna has been at the forefront of global sports marketing deals across varied sports and international talents. This session is hosted by Mr. Arup Sons, the General Secretary of INSMA and the founder of sportscourses.com. We welcome you to the dais, sir.
Check. Awesome. I'm glad we're not doing this interview standing up, both 6-footers and me. But no, amazing to have you gentlemen here. Thank you all. You can settle down, phones off, all of that. We'll jump right into it. Innovations in sponsorship in the age of new media. Well, we were just having a laugh about it on the stage about sponsorship and innovation on one hand, and Ram was just mentioning that, you know what, it's not really innovation, it's money that matters. You know, sales guys count the checks at the end of the day. But I mean, I want to jump into a little bit more detail of how you guys make those sales. You know, both of y'all have prolific careers in that space, and there's so many amazing deals. I've known Ram since the Under-17 World Cup, and has been instrumental to raise almost $6 million for the Under-17 World Cup. So and of course. Aditya with the Gujarat Titans has done amazing work. I'm going to jump into sort of future outlook. You guys are now working, I mean, the industry has grown so much. You're seeing brands invest a lot in not only cricket, but multi-sport. You work internationally, both of y'all in fact. And y'all both can take the question. How do you see sort of the data-driven decisions, you know, from brands and really with the whole new media, with everything that we are able to track from a sponsorship perspective? How do you guys, on one hand, sell properties and things like that? Again, just overarching thoughts, and we can dive a little deeper.
Hi, everyone. See, for a sales guy, while data is important, at the end of the day, our pitch is, at the end of the day, the first call or the first dialogue should always be based on emotion. And then, you know, the data follows and all the nitty-gritties around it follows. Data helps when you kind of, you know, arrive at a final sponsorship figure. But that's when data, if you want to probably get that X plus X figure from the exchequer. That's when, you know, data plays an important role. There are global events like, NBA, IPL. So you really don't have to go and convince a CEO, CMO saying, you know, we've got X million viewers, etc. Because, property itself is big. There it's all about, coming back to the whole theme, it's all about how innovative your pitch is, how innovative the sponsorship deliverables are.
Thank you for having me here, Arup, and INSMA and Somaiya. I think it's important now in the future that data will play an important role, and I feel this because, yes, logo placement, and like Ram said, you know, it's about viewership, but going forward, I think it's not only about viewership and a logo. I think it's also looking at the storytelling side. It's also looking at how each team or each league is building communities, and that's where I think the data kind of comes into play. because I mean, I think now brands are looking at more personalized fan engagement. They're looking at how can they go direct to the consumer, and therefore one of the aspects would be data. But it might not be the main, but yes, it would be a important factor to have within any sponsorship.
Got it. Ram, I'm going to throw a question at you. You've worked a lot outside India, right? US, Europe, multiple countries, and of course in India. I want to pick your brain a little bit on the differences, or really how do you think India is going to catch up in this sponsorship piece? Because when you look at the numbers outside, they're way different. The deals are different. The thought process is different. The timelines of people signing sponsorship, the contracts are much longer. So again, just maybe draw a parallel for us and where you maybe see India going.
On a lighter note, but it's true. When you go tell overseas you're from the sports industry, people do take you seriously. So when you do make that cold call out to CEO, CMO saying you're part of a sports marketing agency or a team, more likely than not, they will hear you for the first 2-3 minutes. So that's where, that's the first difference. So once you cross that, things become easy. I always tell the CMOs and CEOs saying we're still about 40 years behind US when it comes to the whole sports marketing space, and Europe is almost 20 years behind US. Yeah, so let's not even get to the US. If you look at NBA, there's going to be a huge media deal. I don't know if it's already done, but then you have matches shown across Amazon, linear TV, OTT, and here. So the market is extremely fragmented. But here it's very, very different. That's one. Two is, India, it's still, whole sports marketing is still viewed as a media buy. It's not really a marketing exercise. We are getting there, but the storytelling space, at the end of the day, most of the deals are done in the 11th hour, barring the big value deals. Personally, our agency has been at the forefront of a lot of credible, I'm not using this word loosely, any sponsorship for it to be long-term should be credible. We've been at the forefront of deals with Australian Open Tennis, Madison Square Garden. It's not just about logo placement, it's about a fine storytelling piece.
You want to add to that?
Yeah, Ram, I think you're spot on. One is, everyone has a plan, in the strategy, I should say, in their in overseas, they have a strategy on sports marketing. Here, it's kind of an afterthought, or if it's a immediate need, and that's actually what sponsorship isn't. Sponsorship is the stickiness, and the stickiness only comes to you if you have a long-term partnership with a team or a league, and therefore, reaching out to your the fan base, in a proper way. 11th hour deals are the way forward in India. They don't have enough of time to activate. Biggest problem is activation. You spend 1 rupee on sponsorship, you should be spending at least 3 rupees on activating it, which generally is not the case, and therefore it goes into more media buying space, because that's the easier and faster way to kind of reach out to people.
And Arup, a matured sports market is when the general public also appreciate sports not just at the elite level, at any level. So that's where it's important. You go talk to a marketer in Europe, US, they all understand sports. So it becomes easy. So you go tell them you've played sport at the college level, there's a conversation there. Here the problem is not many people who sign checks or at the decision-making level understand sport. So as a sales guy, the first, or as a team custodian, our first job is to actually educate on sport.
No, you're completely right. I'm going to go to the team side or the franchise side as well as the league side. And you all both have varied experiences there. So, Aditya, I'll start with you. In relation to FC Goa and Gujarat Titans, maybe if you can tell us a little bit about maybe some strategies that you used to engage sponsors using new media and in that space. And follow-up to Ram would be on the volleyball side with the league. Tell us a little bit of some of the innovations or strategies that you use there.
So I think it's really important, especially with sport which are second run football. You have to be more innovative in how you reach out to the fan base because there's lack of budgets. Whereas in cricket, the budgets are great. So difference would be, for instance, at Gujarat Titan, we were entered the metaverse. Now entering the metaverse during the pandemic was the strategy. How do you reach out to your fan base without them being there? And therefore, the metaverse was a space where we felt that there's a considerable amount of community which is sitting and using it, and we can reach out to them quite easily. So even though it was not a very high budgeted activity, but the reach was and engagement was high because you can picture yourself with a Rashid Khan or a Shubman Gill in the metaverse, and you have about 1,000 people around there asking questions, looking at various videos, looking at merchandise, looking at sponsor studios. Aether had a sponsor studio in there, so it kind of was a 360-degree marketing, sponsorship, engagement kind of activity. Football, I think, we went down more the data wave. The idea was Goa being a big footballing state already. We should know who our fans are. We should be able to see what they want, and therefore the data route was used out there. Which again was not very high budgeted, and therefore we were able to do it. So football have to be way more innovative. Cricket, it's your imagination. You can go into AR, VR, immersive. You can kind of broaden it. You can have a e-sport team. I think now Gujarat Titan have a e-sport team as well. It's two different parts to the sporting thing, which maybe overseas would not be the same case, but India it is.
Yeah, even before I come to volleyball, Arup, when we worked together on the Under-17 World Cup, innovation need not be doing out-of-the-world things. It could also be packaging. It could be a pitch. So we had a great pitch for the Under-17 World Cup, right? It was about galvanizing the entire nation, bringing all the kids together, women and men. We did a lot of grassroots program. The reach was good. And it was the first of its kind in India, a World Cup, be it Under-21, Under-17. So that itself was innovation. On volleyball, the advantage we had was, unlike a football or a basketball, we are used to seeing EPL and NBA. So whenever we bring a basketball league or a football league, for the young fans, it's all about, they start comparing our league to EPL. Whereas you go to a market like Japan or Australia, they're never going to be comparing their league to a superior league. Because they have their fan base, etc. So we are yet to reach that level. I think first step is to stop comparing our league with other leagues. With volleyball, the advantage we had was, people always thought volleyball was an outdoor sport. Where we smartly did was package it, made it more colorful. Television production was great. It was Olympic standard. We had 4 foreigners per team. We made the game faster. Otherwise, typically a volleyball game is for 25 points. We made it 15, compulsory to be best of 5. We introduced something called the super point, wherein a team which wins that point gets about 2 points, and in case you lose that, you lose about 2 points. So we made it faster, high adrenaline. You're inside an air-conditioned stadium for an hour. Your heart rate is 180 plus, and then you come out. So all that is innovation. I'm not deselling other sports, but getting into a cricket stadium is a nightmare in India. We all know it. Here you just come in, 8,500 people at best, watch the game, and you're closer to the action. And prime time television too. So our attention spans have reduced. I mean, gone are the days wherein we can sit for 5-6 hours. Even T20 matches are almost 4 hours. So typically, I mean, so here you come, an hour and 10 minutes, you're happy and you go back.
Awesome. I'm going to throw one last question to you guys. A lot of the audience is students and young professionals. Any words of advice for those who want to get into sponsorship or maybe innovate in the sponsorship space, one or the other?
Would it be only sponsorship or sports industry?
Well, sport, I think they've got a lot of advice from here on, but I think in the sponsorship space would be interesting.
People call sponsorship, marketing, all in different terminologies. Arup, we had this conversation. I'm sure Aditya, you would agree. At the end of the day, I mean, you call it strategy, marketing, XYZ. It is sales, right? It is all about that one elusive phone call. I mean, you don't get a pitch right, you don't get a tonality right. You cannot, if you can't draw the other person, it just make or break for the 10, 15, 20 seconds. So, I mean, people think getting into sports industry means you can put your hand around Sachin or a Virat. No, it never happens like that. It's all about business. I mean, some people go sell insurance, some people sell soaps. We go and sell sports. That's the only difference. Yeah, good things happen once you sell. I mean, you can go attend Grand Slams, football matches, basketball. You get to meet people. It is not a 9 to 5. It is not a 9 to 5 job. You might have an idea at 11, you might text your client, deals might happen. I'm not trying to demotivate all of you. This is the real, this is what it is.
Absolutely right. I think it's just sales, and I would add a little bit of partnership as well to it. And it's no straight format. It's anytime, anywhere. There's no Saturdays, there's no Sundays. So if you all feel that that's not your cup of tea, do not, because sometimes you're just working every Sunday. But it's a good space to be. It's a good space to explore. And I think the main skill is sales and how you can put this pitch together. Ram said, especially in India, you get one shot at a decision maker. And if your pitch isn't right, if, like he said, the tonality is not right, you can say bye-bye to that, sponsorship happening. However many years you've been in the industry, you've got to have it right every single time. So it's an exciting space. It's being around sport. That's the first thing you should, enjoy, being around sport. Not necessarily right in front, could be behind the scene. May not watch one ball, but, you will be there at the event.
I'm sure most of them would have seen the movie, the Williams sisters. I mean, I'm sure they would have felt sorry for the agent, right? Yeah. That's pretty much what we go through it day in and day out.
And you interestingly mentioned adrenaline earlier, and I think from a sponsorship or a sales point of view, I mean, the moment somebody signs on the dotted line, there is a massive adrenaline spike, The
moment, it is on the dotted line, the first thing, this is what my bosses told me 25 years back, and we still follow it, is leave the room immediately. Shake hands and leave. Don't get into any conversation after that. Which is true. Do a deal, sign off and leave. You can have all the conversations maybe a couple of days after that. You don't want any afterthoughts.
Nice. All right, we're going to take 2 questions from the audience. So feel free to raise your hand and a mic will come to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hi, check. Hi, for both of you guys. For somebody who hasn't come into this spot or this role with a lot of contacts already, for somebody who's new in this role, but he's here, what would you advise? How would they go from here to getting to a successful place?
I don't think any of us started with the biggest network. It actually, you grow it along the way. And now you'll see more and more agencies, and we do it ourselves, is have people on the research side of sponsorship, which is actually what different companies are doing. Are they getting funded? Who are the people who lead these companies? And from there, the cold calling starts, and that's how your network kind of grows. So no one comes with a network. You might have certain networks from which schools you are and which colleges and universities, but that's about it.
We look at people who can build network. I mean, as Aditya said, we all started up from ground zero. But yeah, we look at people with qualities who can probably build a network. Well, ultimately, it's about relationship. I mean, you invest in a relationship now, maybe 6 years down the line, the same person might call you. And probably a deal might happen. And we've seen this, during the course of our experience over the years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. So I'm Yankaran from the University of Lille. Have you seen some change in terms of sponsorship with social responsibility, CSR, and policy in terms of sponsorship for some company, so CSR and sponsorship today?
See, in India, I think there's a mandatory certain percentage of their profits that go into CSR, but it's not mandatorily into sports. So I could talk about the experience. So we do a lot of sports marketing deals for Infosys. If you're aware, they're sponsors of Australian Open, French Open. So there we have a STEM program. So it's embedded into the whole sponsorship strategy. So mandatorily what they do is their foundation, as part of the whole sponsorship, the Infosys Foundation, they come into play and they park a lot of money towards STEM. Otherwise, you have a lot of companies, wherein their foundation actually, we recently had the Dalmia Bharat group actually unveiling a state-of-the-art badminton academy. This happened 2 days back with the national chief coach. So again, that's part of their CSR strategy too.
From a brand perspective, I think the new age brands definitely look at ESG, and therefore, some sort of social activity must be done with some of the teams, and I think teams are kind of, moving towards that. We at Gujarat Titans had something to do with waste management on one side, because it was a large stadium, which created lots and lots of plastic and one-time use plastic. So educating the one side the suppliers, and the other side, actually people who are coming and watching, spectators, they actually don't even know whether what the blue one is for, what the green one is for, and the silver. So it's I think catching up. It's not a very big part of it. Like Ram said, I think it's more taken as CSR form because you got to do CSR. But some of the better known brands like the Infosys and all will definitely have an eye on what CSR or social causes that they would take up.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're good. Thank you so much, Ram. Thank you so much, Aditya. And yeah, we catch up soon again.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for this insightful chat. I now request Dr. Amol Patil to facilitate our guest.
No questions.
I request all the presenters